Gemini, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early April 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Gemini collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these lovely Geminis in early April? What is happening? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Gemini in early April. What's the vibe? What's the energy here? For my good friends, please. Let's get this card out nice and quick. Thank you. Okay. So this card, although it does have the devil on it, it's similar, but it's different than the devil in the tarot deck, right? Because the devil in the tarot deck has a whole laundry list of things we have to watch out for. This one's a little different, and there's little subnotes of temptation when this card shows up, which gives it a lot more depth, if you ask my opinion. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the April subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk a little more in depth about this card. So as you can see, there's a lot of interesting symbolism on this card. We have this devil figure, there's a woman, there's the serpent, snake, apple. So it does have that like Garden of Eden type of symbolism happening here. So whenever I see it, I'm like, okay, something might be tempting you. Now that could be a whole bunch of different things, specifically if there's certain things you're trying to refrain from. So whether it's habits, whether it's behaviors, whether it's people, there could be certain things where it's like, but what if I do a little bit? Or what if I try a little bit? And there's something here that could be like luring you in or tempting you in a big way whenever I see this card. Now, the devil energy in the tarot deck does have like attachment type of energy. So there could be certain things that you feel are attached to your energy when this card shows up. Usually it's a slow mover, right? So it's something that might not be out of your system. So there could be an energy you've been dealing with for a while. It's not quite out of your system yet, and this card could just show up because of it. So it's not always worst case scenario. You know, I don't believe in that, but just watch out for the temptation. So again, with thought patterns, behaviors, habits, people, you name it. We're just going to leave it at that. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, you know, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my Gemini friends. What do we got in early April? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It seemed like the hands of karma were spinning. The reading was titled Big Karmic Change. So for a lot of Geminis, it might be a big time of metamorphosis and change in various different areas, right? So whether it's work and career, whether it's personal relationships, you name it. To me, it just felt like a lot of Geminis, compared to the other zodiac signs, there's like a lot of transformation, very intense stuff going on, very spiritual energy as well. So we're going to see what shows up for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So when we take this out, it's for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for my lovely Gemini friends. Let's get it going here in early April. What is the vibe for my Gemini friends? Well, the deck is being very peculiar here. Usually your cards pop out really quick. And for those of you new here, I only read jumpers. Okay, so we do have the 6 of Cups. This card does show up for you from time to time. That is one of my cards that I do link to the past. So kind of like what I was saying, there could be an energy that it's like slow moving, or there could be remnants, or it's like attached. Let's get a couple more. I think the 6 of Cups is generally a good card, but there's a lot of things that come along with it, right? Let's get a couple more. Okay, Ace of Pentacles, this could be good. This could be something really good, actually. Let's get one more out here. A few other signs been getting these like similar layouts, but different cards. Let's get one more, thank you. Knight of Cups, all right. I mean, there's a lot of water here, but we're definitely going to have to go through this. I feel overall I'm cautiously optimistic about the energies we're seeing here, Gemini. but we're definitely going to have to look further. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I always look at the elements first. I feel like that's very important to really judge how the energy is moving or what areas it could be affecting in your life. And what I'm seeing here is a mixture of earth and water. Now, that is a good mixture. When you mix earth and water, it could represent blessings and abundance, lots of potential. Notice we have the Six of Cups, Knight of Cups, so there's a lot of water energy. It's the realm of feeling, emotion, love, romance. It's creativity, right? But it's intense. That's the thing. And Gemini is an air sign. Usually you vibe well with air energy and fire. I guess it depends on what's in your chart. When I see a lot of cups, it could be a lot of emotional intensity. Now, that could be good. These could be good feelings for some of you, but for others, it might just be a little too much to handle. So watch out for getting overwhelmed. There's cards of communication here. We have the Ace of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups. Both of these cards could just be communicating, talking, chit chat. So we have a lot of things we need to look at, and other people's energy showing up here for sure. So let's go through piece by piece, really start to build this out. So the first card here we have is the Six of Cups. Now, this card could represent very important people to us. You see the image there. It's the two kids. They're sharing a cup. So first and foremost, this could be soul ties, soul connections, people that are very important to us. This is a card of history. So whether it's someone that we've known for years and years and years, or someone that it may feel like we knew them in a different life type of energy. When you meet a person, it's like, damn, it feels like I already knew you. That's the energy that this could be. Now, I'm not saying that this is solely a love reading. It could be for a lot of you with all this water, but the Six of Cups to me could just be memories. For some Geminis, you might be taking some trips down memory lane, thinking about the past. I always say that this card usually defaults as a positive card, but there's challenges too, because what's the thing with history? It could be baggage of some sort, an issue or something that you've dealt with where it's still in your system. So just watch out for energies like that. I mean, it could be things returning too. I always say that with the Six of Cups. Out of all the cards in the deck, when I see this card, it's like, all right, you might get a blast from the past. So whether it's dealing with a situation you've already dealt with, a person you haven't heard from in a long time, it's like, all right, I'm repeating a cycle of some sort, or there's something coming back around. There's something moving in. Now, that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, because moving to the middle, we have the Ace of Pentacles. That's beautiful. And I always say all aces are opportunities, all aces are offers. They're coming in, and there's a lot of potential with them, especially the Ace of Pentacles. I would say this is like an alley-oop from the universe, where they throw you the ball and you just got to dunk it. Now, aces, they have some downsides. All cards do. This could just be communicating, right? A letter, a note, a text, or speaking literally. It's like I'm giving you a message. That's why the hand is always extending out with this pentacle. But the challenge with all aces is they're not guaranteed. It's not set in stone. So whereas it might be something that could happen, it might be something with a lot of potential. It's like, but there's no definite here. So hopefully there's not a lot of situations where it's like, oh, I don't know how this is going to go. There could be a little doubt whenever there's an ace, but it's not a bad card. So we'll just have to see what this is. Again, it could just be a talk of some sort. It all really depends on what your situation is. Now, moving to the very back end, we have a very smooth operator showing up in your reading this week. We have the Knight of Cups himself. Now, for some of you, you might be connected to a water sign. Maybe you have some water placements yourself. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. If that's not the case, all knights represent action. They all represent movement. They're very similar to pages where it's like, okay, well, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. The Knight of Cups could be talks, messages, emotional offers, love offers, getting things out in the open. So again, there's a lot of communication here on the back end, so we'll have to see what this chit chat's about. Now, the Knight of Cups is a smooth operator too, so it's someone that's very good with their words. I generally like this card because it's really nice and it's smooth the way it moves in. But as with everything, there's a downside. Sometimes the Knight of Cups could be a lot of feelings that you still need to process, a lot of things that you're dealing with. Could be very heavy, or someone that even tries to play off emotions too. But so far, I'm cautiously optimistic. I want to dive deeper on all the Gemini. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay. Let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for our Gemini friends? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Six of Cups. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Gemini, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Six of Cups time. What's going on with that six? Yep. Yeah, so it's something popping back up. All right, we have the Ace of Cups in reverse. Notice it's like, I want to talk about this, but I don't want to talk about that. It's very like selective. So don't be surprised if we are seeing a lot of energy here around a communication with somebody. It's like, yeah, well, I'm free and open about this, but I'm not even going to talk about that. I'm getting the vibe of somebody where it's like they're very picky and choosy about what they open up about and what they open up with. So there's tons of communication cards. Now, the Ace of Cups, when I see it in reverse, this could represent somebody where it's like, oh, you might have disconnected on a sour note, or this could be where there's like some harsh feelings, right? Like I'm looking back into the past with the Six of Cups, the Ace of Cups are in reverse. It's like, but I'm sad about it. I think it's very important in this time, if you are doing a lot of reminiscing, try not to reminisce too much on the bad if possible. I know that's easier said than done, but when I see the Six of Cups with the Ace of Cups in reverse, it's like I'm not thinking about the good times, I'm thinking about the rough ones. Either that, or this is someone that's just very tight-lipped with certain things. Like I'm not willing to speak about that, but I'm willing to speak about this. So it's interesting, right? It's like I'm wide open here, but I'm not talking about that. I mean, it could be secretive too. With the Six of Cups, Ace of Cups in reverse, it could be someone that's being secretive. So that's something to watch out for. Let's keep moving. So I do feel this reading is based around communication. And some of you, this could be something that pops back up, whether it's a situation where we're revisiting it, a person, it's like we're revisiting it, which it makes sense. So it could be a return of something, whether it's a situation or a person. But let's see what's up with the Ace of Pentacles. Let's see what that has to say. I really want to get over to the Knight. So why is the Ace of Pentacles here for my Geminis, please? And another thing I just want to mention, just because something didn't work out for you in the past doesn't mean that it won't in the future. I don't know why I'm giving that message, because that's another thing. It's like, oh, well, I tried to do it this way, or I tried this in the past, but it didn't work out for me. Don't limit yourself going forward. I don't know why that, I mean, must have came out for a reason. Yeah, Page of Cups in reverse underneath. Do I? Don't I? Very, very selective about what they're talking about here, or what this person's willing to discuss. So the Page of Cups, yet again, is another card of communication. Now, this is telling me a couple of things. When I see 4 of the 5 cards around communicating and other people, this tells me that there could be something that needs to be addressed. There could be something that's either an important talk that needs to be had, or something that just needs to get out in the air. Now, this could be something that hasn't even happened yet for some of you. This could be something that pops up later in the week or even early next week. But the Ace of Pentacles, Page of Cups in reverse, it's like, I'll talk about this, but I'm not talking about that. So whether it's omitting something, or like someone that, I don't want to say lying by omission. You know, I don't always go worst case scenario, but I just feel like someone's very open to speak about certain things, but won't even touch others. That's just the vibe. It's a very weird, peculiar communication style with this Page of Cups in reverse, because this page, very similar to that Knight, when he's in reverse, he's keeping tight-lipped. This could be someone that's acting like, yeah, everything's fine, everything's cool, everything's okay. There is either an important talk that needs to be had, or one that's coming in, okay? It could even be certain things that you weren't expecting to discuss for a small portion of you. That's another thing I'm getting, especially with these underneath. It was like, I wasn't prepared to speak about that. So it's like either something that's important, or like a surprising or unexpected talk. Let's go over to the Knight of Cups. Let's see what he has, because that might just show us how this might turn out. But it's so odd, like how it's selective about what it's willing to speak about. But let's go in on that Knight of Cups, please. What's happening for Gemini? What's happening? Another ace. Like, this is almost bizarre at this point, but it's the Ace of Wands in reverse. I think it's very important, regardless of the types of conversations you have or who you're speaking to not let it get too heated, to be as mellow in your approach as possible. When I see the Ace of Wands in reverse, it's like, all right, don't get too carried away. Don't be explosive, because remember, this Knight of Wands, this Ace of Wands is different than these other aces. This is fire, right? And in the upright, it's like, it could sometimes even be anger. It's just really fired up to say something. But it's such this peculiar dance we're doing this week, where it's like, We'll talk about this. We're not talking about that. I'll address this. I'm not addressing that. I'll do this, but I'm not doing that. It's like extremely selective. Now, for some of you, maybe there are certain things that you should dig into in this time. Maybe there's certain things where it's like, now might not be the right time to speak about this. I guess use your discernment depending on what you're going through. But 5 of the 6 cards are communication cards. You could even say with the 6 of Cups slightly, because look, they're sharing a cup. So it's like communication, communication, communication. Now, the Ace of Wands in reverse under the Knight of Cups, I mean, it could go better than you think. There could be a conversation where it's like, okay, I was expecting it to get out of hand, but it didn't. But I still have this vibe. Either it's a very important thing that needs to be addressed and talked about, or it's a talk you weren't expecting to have. Like, especially with all these cards and the clarifiers in reverse, it was like, wasn't really ready to address that. I wasn't thinking I'd have to speak on this. So it could be a surprising or an unexpected talk as well. So it's interesting how this theme just rings through the whole entire reading. So this could tell you that you might run a similar situation with multiple different things. Like you're dealing with a similar thing in work and a similar thing with this person and reliving something that you've done in the past. So peculiar how the energy's showing up this week. But let's go through and do a quick recap, and we'll get into the shadow card. If you kindly look in the box, Gemini, position number 1, we have the 6 of Cups with the Ace of Cups in reverse. Already went through it. Try your best not to think too much on the bad times or rough memories or traumatic situations from the past. Like, try to stay as optimistic as possible in this time. Easier said than done, I know it. But again, this whole vibe of I'll talk about this, but I'm not talking about that. Watch out for old feelings to pop back up, old situations, various things could return in this time. Moving to the center, we have the Ace of Pentacles with the Page of Cups in reverse. I'm willing to speak about this. I'm not willing to speak about that. So whether this is an important talk that needs to be had, or a spirit could be saying like, listen, there's certain things you might not want to address at this time. Now might not be the time to talk about it. Depends on your situation. But even moving to the back end, we have the Knight of Cups with the Ace of Wands. It might go well. It might go better than you think. Very important to have a cool, calm, collected approach in any communication in this time. Like nice, even keeled. But another vibe I'm picking up here could be things that you weren't prepared to address or speak about. So unexpected or surprising talks. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for my Gemini friends. What's happening? What is going on? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get your shadow card out here. We're going to get another ace. Is it going to happen? And that could be good for new things. There might be a resistance to it. Okay, so you have the Wheel of Fortune showing up in the shadows. I feel like this is good. It kind of ties into what we saw for you last week. Remember, last week's reading was like big karmic change. The wheel is good because it says luck is on your side, but this card does represent cycles. So with this whole thing, possibly reliving a certain cycle, something that didn't work. There's like this interesting thing about reliving stuff this week, or, you know, maybe approaching them in different ways. But the Wheel of Fortune, I always say, is a very good card because it's just a luck charm. It's Lady Luck in the universe shining on you, even if it doesn't feel like it at the moment. But again, the wheel is very sudden, it's very quick, and it is the karmic wheel. So it could represent changes and just karmic transformation, which we saw. We saw it all last week. So it's showing up in the shadows. But yeah, Gemini, that's what I have for you, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The April subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me and get a little further insight into your situation, you can check out my digital calendar on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The April calendar is up, so feel free to go check it out and book. But for the April subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies, not 2, of one of my favorite decks of all time, the Gilded Tarot Royale. It's a gorgeous deck, and it works fantastic. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, if you could pick one tarot card to best describe you, which one would it be? Are you the Empress? Are you the High Priestess? Are you the Emperor, the Moon, the Sun? You put your answer down in the comments, you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.